All right, welcome everybody to Severe Weather Update. This is my first video ever and hopefully not my last. Really just doing this to test the capability of my PC and get used to Streamlabs OBS and see if this is something I can actually accomplish. So far so good. I think I'm able to see myself in the webcam. But welcome everybody. I am not a meteorologist, but I've always wanted to be one when I was a kid, and it didn't work out that way. So now that I can do this online by myself as a hobby, pretty exciting. Anyway, I know a little bit about weather and been studying it a lot for my whole life, but I'm not an expert in any of this. But I know how to find the information, and all of this stuff is verifiable, so you can find it yourself if you also want to see what I'm showing you here. Anyway, this is hopefully, if I get one viewer, I will be happy. We're starting out with the surface map for the United States from the National Weather Service, and there's not a whole lot on this map tonight. This is valid from 7 a.m. through 7 a.m. tomorrow. If you look at the snow and ice is really the issue in the Great Plains area and in the Midwest and the upper North Midwest, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. And you'll see that on the radar as well as on the forecast maps that I'm going to be showing you. And as usual, there's stormy weather in the Pacific Northwest, some snow and ice and rain forecast. The greatest threat coming up in the next 3 or 4 days is going to be in the southeast around North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and eventually into the New England states. And we'll get to that when we get to the model forecasts. So let's go and move forward here, and we will move to the satellite photo, and you can see up in the upper Great Plains area in North Dakota is where you're seeing most of the precipitation. That's mostly snow, but it's not blizzard weather. It's not severe at this point, although there are winter storm warnings in effect in that area. So let's take a look at that right now. Well, first let's look at the severe weather outlook from the National Severe Storms Forecast Center. They don't usually focus on winter weather, really looking more for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms. There's nothing forecast today. This is the day 1 outlook. If you look at the day 2 outlook, also nothing on the map. And the day 3 outlook, there's a marginal risk in the panhandle of Florida, which is going to be associated with the winter storm system that I am going to be showing you in a little bit, where more of the threat for this storm is going to be in this area where there's going to be some ice and wintry mix. So we will get to that. Let's see if there's anything else on here that I was planning on showing you. No, that's about it. So now let's look at just the forecast lows for tonight. Typical winter pattern here. 50s and 40s are to be the lows in the southeast and Florida, and then getting into the 30s in most of the southeast. Most of the coldest weather will be in the, again, the Great Plains area. And we're talking about teens, single digits for lows, but nothing extraordinary for this time of year. This is pretty typical cold weather for the United States in January. Let's go to the next map is the national radar map, and things are looking pretty good throughout the United States right now. If we zoom in here, we can see some ice and snow approaching the Boise, Idaho area on the Oregon-Idaho border. We can see a lot of wintry snow in the up in Canada and not yet having gotten into the United States. But this area of North Dakota and South Dakota, there is winter storm warnings in effect, and I will show you that right now. Let's look at that. This is the map showing all of the winter. These are all the storm advisories right now in the United States. And if you look here, we have a wind chill warning in the Northeast and the New England area, but all the winter storm advisories are in the Great Plains area. So you can see there's winter storm warnings all the way through 6 p.m. Friday, and they may be extended all through this area. And then we also have a winter storm watch for the area that I'm about to show you on the forecast models where we're going to have some wintry mix, ice, and snow. But that will be later, more on Sunday. So that's why it's a watch, because this is not something that's going to be happening immediately. The rest of these are mostly river flood warnings, but nothing, no tornadoes, no severe thunderstorms in the United States right now. So let's see, what else do we have here? Let's look at the 48-hour snowfall accumulation for the next 2 days ending Saturday, January 15th. Here's what we're looking at. We're looking at accumulations of anywhere from 8 to 12 inches in North Dakota, portions of North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. So that's the greatest threat for snowfall accumulations in the next 2 days. Going beyond that, I don't really want to go, and they don't even go beyond that here on this forecast. So now let's look at what is going to happen. So right now, again, there's very little happening. You can see some of the weather that we saw on the radar up here is what's showing on the GFS model forecast. So let's get rid of that. And let's move forward. If we move forward, sorry about that. If we move forward about 24 hours, you can see that snow does move into the North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa area where they're showing the accumulations. That continues to move south through Missouri and then forms a low pressure system in the southeast around the Louisiana, Mississippi area. And that's why you saw some marginal risk for severe weather in the panhandle of Florida, as you can see now valid. This is Saturday at 18Z, which is basically Sunday morning. It's about 5 hours difference from the 18Z. You add 5 hours to get to Eastern, or you subtract 5 hours, sorry, to get to Eastern time. So then this is probably around noon or so on Saturday. As we move forward through Saturday, you can see that there will be some marginal threat of severe weather in the Florida Panhandle. We continue moving, then the storm moves back toward the northeast. And by Sunday, this is basically Sunday morning or midnight or so on Saturday night, Sunday morning, you'll see that there is a threat of thunderstorms and severe and ice and some snow moving into the Carolinas, Georgia and Carolina. So those are the two states, Georgia and Carolinas, where late this weekend you're going to have precipitation. But let's look at, here's about where it gets the worst. This is Sunday late morning. If we zoom in on this a little bit, let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, no, my cursor is making it move, but you can see a lot of purple throughout the state of North Carolina, and that could create some power outage situations. Again, that's Sunday, probably around the noontime hour. We're going to see snow in the Tennessee Valley and in West Virginia, but a lot of snow and sleet in the Tennessee area. So that's probably the biggest threat in the North Carolina area, sorry. That's probably the biggest threat for actual significant weather in the next 3 or 4 days. So I'd be very concerned about that if I lived in that area. So watch out. And then you can see it moves through the northeast, but it really doesn't look too severe, although the low is showing 989 millibars. So there probably will be significant wind gusts and some blustery, snowy conditions through New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and then moving on through. But the low stays far enough offshore so the worst of the wind, it should not create a blizzard event or a nor'easter event in the northeast. And I haven't seen anything that is reporting that or forecasting that. And then as you go through late Monday and into Tuesday, we're basically back to very little weather in the United States, mostly high pressure and colder temperatures, but nothing severe, and the snow system has moved off. The winter storm will have moved offshore by that point in time. So that's about all I have to show you guys today. This is my first video, so I'm not too good at this, but I think I'll get better with time. If even one person watches this, I'm very happy because it's more than anyone's ever watched me talk about the weather in my life, probably. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll be back soon. Thank you.